Welcome to SDH's coverage of everything going on in the WPSL Southeast. We'll take you backward before we go forward, let you know what happened over the last 7 days, get you ready for the next 7 days in a very, very tight conference, one of the tightest and most competitive in all the WPSL. We'll go over all the news you need to know, power rankings, all of that stuff before we are done today. It was a bit of a blending of weeks 5 and 6 in the schedule. Week 6 had the matchups on the 12th. So for our purposes, we'll start things off over the last 7 days last Saturday. Atlanta Fire, 4-0 winners over FC Nashville. That one was at Pinecrest Academy. And FC Birmingham traveled to Georgia Impact in Cherokee High School. Georgia Impact put 7 on the board and beat FC Birmingham by that score. First blemish of the season for Decatur FC. We'll talk to Jack Marchant coming up in just a little bit about it. At Decatur High School, Edge 6-5 Alliance came down from Knoxville and beat Decatur FC by that 1 goal. Which gets us to our match of the week at Finley Stadium. Fort Finley, the host for Chattanooga FC, as they welcomed UFA Gunners. Here's your highlights, courtesy of our friends at Chattanooga FC, their own selves. And it was Gabe Schrei and our Madison Cruz on the call.
And she's putting together a really nice career professionally and collegiately. Long ball, Chattanooga down to the corner of the 18. She gets around, well, bent to the back door, and she buries it. What a score! Chattanooga Football Club out in front 1-0 in the 6th minute of play. It's Eleonora Franco.
Eleonora Franco, just right outside the 18, a beautiful curler that took it herself, was just able to sneak past the defense for the Gunners, and oh, what a beautiful strike.
Her second goal of the season, bringing her European experience from Verona, Italy to the midfield for Chattanooga. How about the creativity? Gets a hold of that ball, dices around the defender on the corner of the 18, an absolute laser to the back door. 1-0 Chattanooga Football Club as we're into the 7th minute in the Scenic City. UFA can't get a hold of it initially. Now the Gunners with the ball. Flip through the penalty arc on the spot. She's got it. The response right away. 2 goals in 2 minutes. It's 1-1 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Obviously, you don't have to do anything when you're already deadlocked. You've got a lot of time left to play, a whole second half. You're going to get some whiteboard time, some water, some cool air at the half. United, long ball into the wing. Chattanooga trying to run this down, sent off and out. Heads up play there by CFC. Madison, do you feel like there's any pressure or thought about we really should score before the half, or is it just, you try, and if you don't, it's okay?
For sure. You definitely want to be the team going into halftime. You want to be the team up. Having it be a 1-1 draw right now, it kind of puts it in anyone's favor.
Out front, United from the penalty spot, left side, and it just leaks through. How did she sneak that in there? Leaving Chattanooga on skates, it goes to the left and finds the back of the net. Perfectly placed ball by Autumn Kaeli.
Autumn Kaeli was just able to grab the ball, position it, and just absolutely beat the keeper in Verino. Was able just to slip it right past her. I think Verino thought she might have gonna switch it to the right, but ended up switching it up and went to her left side.
United has averaged 5.75, nearly 6 goals per match this season entering today. They've scored 2 today, so now 25 total goals as a team this season. United looking for another to the corner of the 18. She stays onside. Bent back door, unreal placement. United football up ahead 3-1 on the road in Chattanooga. Perfectly placed top shelf. Chipped over the top, down towards the 18. United can't gather there, but they do get it back, still in the attacking third. Down along the touchline, trying to go backwards. They've bought the space they need, looking for that entry pass. She walks it, sends it to the penalty arc. Backside, lots of room, bent back door, left side, top shelf. She scores. 4-1 United football out in front of the Scenic City. They love the top shelf, and again it's Morgan.
Love the top shelf indeed. All of the goals the Gunners have scored have been absolute beauties. Just a perfect placement, knowing exactly where they need to be, and not being afraid to take the shot. It's a great opportunity. It's a great set piece, and you have to capitalize it if you're Chattanooga.
Jan van Brummelen from the Netherlands to take this, a 20-year-old. She's right-footed. comes from the club Sparta Rotterdam. Also has played for FC Barcelona. Strikes it to the right side. This one through, untouched in the score. Chattanooga Football Club gets one back in the 59th minute. Her second goal of the season for Chattanooga. Gunners closing in on the ball, tackled away. A nice intercept. And finessed all the way back to Brinkman. In danger! Blown tire for a moment, Brinkman able to clear it. Chattanooga nearly had a wide open scoring chance. Through midfield, UFA playing loose and fast. Into the attacking third, looking for help. Towards the penalty arc, knifing through traffic. She's onto the edge of the 18, has room to take a shot. Squared up, back door in the 6, she got it! Wow, it's a 3-goal match again as UFA makes it 5-2 in the 73rd minute. What a score, she absolutely buried it.
Absolutely buried it. A great sequence on that drive, just coming in from the left and then picking out that pass from behind. That is absolutely stunning. That is perfect team play. A team play goal there for the Gunners. Expanding the women's game the way they have, that's huge.
Struck right side, unreal. How did she find the twine? Just barely squeaking that inside of the post, and another goal for the Gunners.
So UFA put 6 on the board, and it was a dominant win for them. They had to turn around in 4 days' time and play Georgia Impact. That one was 2-2. In the midweek. Once again, we'll catch up with Coach Roddie and find out about it and the very busy week that Impact have coming up in just a little bit. That's the schedule. So what are the standings as we head into this very, very busy time? Nashville Rhythm have not drawn in their first 6. They are 5-0-1 on the season, and right now they are at 15 points. UFA second with a record of 4-2-0. They have not lost on the year. Neither have 865 Alliance, who in their first 5 matches are 4-1-0 and at 13 points. Team 4 right now is Decatur FC. Decatur FC through their first 5 matches, 3-1-1. Once again, we'll catch up with head coach Jack Marchant coming up, assistant coach Jack Marchant coming up in just a little bit. Battlefield promotion. 5th right now, Georgia Impact, 2-2-1. They are at 8 points on the season, and they have a match in hand with Nashville Rhythm and with UFA Gunners, as you have a very, very competitive grouping right there at 1 through 5. In 6th right now, it's Chattanooga FC with the 1 win on the season in 4. They've lost the other 3. They have scored 8 in those matches. They've given up 13, and that is why right now they're at 3 points. But their goal difference puts them ahead of Atlanta Fire United, who in 6 matches who have won once, lost 5, and have only scored 5 goals. Same for FC Birmingham, but FC Birmingham's goal difference is worse than Atlanta Fire's, and so that's why they are in 8th. FC Nashville Wolves, 5 matches they have yet to win on the season. So that sets us up for getting you ready for the week that will be. And first off, we're going to catch up with assistant coach Jack Marchant of Decatur FC and find out about a very, very busy weekend, which leads into a very, very busy stretch run. So, Jack, let's go backward before we go forward. Now that you've had a couple days to kind of digest what happened last time out, what are some of the things that stick with you?
Yeah, I think it was obviously a disappointing result. But for us as a first-year team, we've got a lot of girls also playing in their first summer. Every game's a learning curve. And Alliance were a very well put together team. I mean, coming from my experience, having done the last 2 years with the Revs, you come up against teams like Alliance, who are an established summer WPSL team. They were very well organized. They had kids who had been there and done that before. And like I said, I think it's just a learning curve for our team and our girls, and we'll get better for it. But hopefully, it gives us the motivation this weekend to kick on and get some more points on the board.
No doubt about it, and it's an opportunity with what has been going on. It is Chattanooga on a Sunday. I know that study hall is a little different these days when you cram for these kinds of tests, but what's study hall been like getting ready for CFC?
We've done a lot of video watching, and, it's going to be a tough test for us. It's not just the fact that Chattanooga are a well-organized group. It's the fact that we got to go up there. It's late on a Sunday night. It's a road test for us. We've done 2 already, going up to Nashville and Birmingham and winning those games. But Sunday's going to be a tough test for us, but we got a home game tomorrow night, which we're looking forward to, which should hopefully prepare us going into Sunday, because we're certainly not looking past that. And we got to go up there and get 3 points if we want to put ourselves in the right position.
When it comes to this matchup against Tormenta on Friday, it's a good learning experience that is kind of crammed into all of this activity that's going on. What are you looking to add to the learning that's been going on for a matchup against a side that has won titles with their first team in the past?
I think you've said it right there. It's going to be a learning experience. We're playing another experienced summer team who are going to come here, and they're going to want to put on a show in front of the fans as well. And that's the exciting thing for us. It's another opportunity for our fans to come out. I mean, we've had over 1,000 people at all 3 games. We're averaging like 1,800 people. It's been incredible. It's so cool to see the energy that's kind of flowing through Decatur right now and getting behind the team. And it's another opportunity for our girls to play in front of another bumper crowd, which I think we're expecting, again, a big number tomorrow. But we're playing against a very, very well-organized USLW team, and we're going to go out there and show them what we can do.
For those that don't know your story, how did you get involved with DFC?
I lived in Decatur when I was the assistant at Georgia State, and got to know Gareth O'Sullivan, the owner of the team, very well. And when the opportunity presented itself to work with the team, it was extremely difficult to say no. And it's been a brilliant 6 weeks so far. It's been great working with the girls. Again, after my 2 years with the Revs, I told myself I'm going to take the summer off. But when the opportunity arose, and again, getting that first game where there was 1,900 people, you just kind of sit there, and myself and Campbell, we were in awe of how much the city has got behind the team, and how much they continue to get behind the team. And it's been a privilege and something that I look forward to continue doing.
Well, and it's been a fun watch for those of us who've lived in Decatur, know about Decatur, know about the high school scene, know about Decatur High. You've had your samples with it as well. Do you get the chance to sit and enjoy it while you're busy there on the field, or do you have to kind of focus and look at it after the fact and go, man, we had a full house?
I mean, when you kick off, obviously you go into game mode, and you're kind of focusing on the 22 bodies that are on the pitch. But we've sat there prior to the game and kind of sat around and listened to the drums as they march into the stadium. Again, having that atmosphere up at somewhere like Appalachia, like it's very cool. But to have it at your home field, and we've kind of sat there at the end of games and gone, there's 2,200 people here. Like, that's crazy. But it's great. It's what you want. It's what you want as an athlete. It's what you want as a soccer player, is you want to play and apply your trade in front of people. And it's our job as the staff is to make sure the product that we put on the field is something that people want to come and see. And I think we're doing a good job of that with a very young, inexperienced team that are just getting better with every week.
When it comes to messaging and learning and having to cram for these tests with this young side, I mean, how much of a learning experience is it for you as coaches to sit there and it's like, okay, we can go this far, we can give this message, we can, help educate them where? How much of a learning curve is it for you guys with a young team and a first-year team that's doing as well as you are?
Oh, it's massive, and it's been huge for me. Again, I think coming from the background and experience I've had in the summer, but with women, it's completely different as well, and it's a good thing. Like, we're trying to teach them more about the game and different ways of playing, but at the same time, I know that we're trying to keep these kids ticking over so that they're prepared for their falls with their colleges wherever we go back. I mean, we have 12 SEC players on the roster. Like, we got to get them in a position where they can hopefully go be successful with their teams in the fall. So it's great. It's great to work with these kids. They're extremely talented, and they're willing to learn. And the biggest part of it for me is that they enjoy playing, and we've got to make the experience that they have an enjoyable one. And Gareth has done a fantastic job giving the atmosphere that he's given the girls and the team. But we learn something new every day, and that's why I love doing it.
2 goals allowed. I mean, for the longest time in this schedule, you look at the GA column, and there's a 0 there. And you've given up goals, so you've proven that you are, in fact, human as an organization. What does it say about the defense that you've been able to put up these kinds of numbers and not allow anything into the back of the net until last time out?
Again, I'd like to think we've relied on some experience that we have from a playing standpoint, but also from coaching in this environment in the past. we've seen it every summer. Regardless of whether you're a first-year team or an eighth-year team, there's still going to be some new players thrown into the mix that haven't done this before, and the summer's really about not making mistakes, and that's what we focused on massively in the beginning of the season. We want to play attractive soccer, we want to get the ball down and play, but ultimately we don't want to make mistakes because mistakes lead to goals. Now, we did a very good job of that early in the year, and not so good of a job in that in the last game. And again, I think for us, it's another step forward. It's another learning curve. And we learned that we don't want to make mistakes at the back. We don't want to give teams opportunities who are good. If a team's going to come and beat us, we want it to be really, really hard work. And they've kind of left here going like, oh, Decatur's a tough place to go. And if we do that, we're just going to continue to be successful. So the plan is to go into tomorrow, get a win and a clean sheet, get back to winning ways, but also get back to that 0 goals in the goal allowed column.
Looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a great crowd against Tormenta, and then you got a quick turn in league. Thanks for dropping by. I always appreciate your time, Jack.
Appreciate it, John. Have a good one, mate. Speak to you soon.
Did we mention busy? You want to talk busy? The busiest of the busy, I think, in this next 7 days is going to be our friends at Georgia Impact with 3 matches in 4 days. So we caught up with head coach Rob Roddie to find out what it's like to have this kind of schedule compression this late in the year and everything else going on with Impact. Business end of the schedule. Last time out, it was a 2-2 draw on the board. What do you take with you from the tie with UFA?
Yeah, I was really, really happy with the performance. We didn't quite know what to expect in the game. It was, going into it, we've seen UFA take, 10 goals, 8 goals off of teams, and come out with clean sheets. So we knew it was going to be a very difficult game. And then, they were, 8th in the country when we played them. So, there was a lot coming into that game to maybe be phased by, but we didn't really go into it with that belief because we've seen the performances that we have and what we're capable of, and holding out Nashville, to a 2-1, Decatur 0-0. So we're competing with the top teams. So, we knew just to kind of focus on ourselves there. And when we did, it was, the game started really positive. I thought we played very well, held on to most of the ball. And, we were a little frustrated not to take more out of the game. So, it gave us a lot of belief coming into the Chattanooga game. UFA obviously, they won 6-2 against Chattanooga earlier in the week. So that's given us the confidence to go into the game tonight against Chattanooga. But we know it's definitely not going to be an easy match by any means. They've got some good players there.
This unbeaten run of 4, you look at the group on the whole, and the defense is something that has stood out this entire time, where leading into this match against UFA basically doubled the amount of goals that you've given up in the season to date in those first 4 matches.
Yeah.
What has it been about this defense that has clicked right out of the blocks to make sure that you could get this run that you had after dropping that first match of the year?
Yeah, I think I think they're just great. They're just very good individual players. Even though they're new to getting to know each other, individually they're just very, very talented. But they're very good communicators. Between them all, so that helps a lot. I've had some very good defenders that I've worked with that maybe don't communicate as well, and it's a lot more difficult to get these performances out of them. So the fact that everyone's just on the same page, they understand the responsibilities and the roles that. It's just been pretty flawless, and they're willing to work hard for each other. So they're great to work with, and gives us a lot of comfort and confidence to attack and go forward, and knowing that we can go to a 3 in the back, and tell our wing backs to get further forward as well, knowing that the girls, even if it's a 1v1 in the back line, we're still confident we'll come out with the ball.
What concerns you the most about Chattanooga, and what are you the most comfortable about where you are concerned going into the match?
I would say for Chattanooga, I'd say the difference with them is that I think they just have a good squad. It's there's not necessarily, like with some of the other teams, there's maybe 1 or 2 key players that you really have to have a focus on. And I think that's something that, again, here it's now it has to be a really good overall team performance, because all throughout the field they're going to be a strong team. So Finley Stadium, they're playing at a much bigger field. They're coming to Cherokee, much smaller field. So I think, that's where it'll probably be one of our strengths is, playing in that tighter space, and it might be our advantage. But I think, Yeah, I think for Chattanooga, it's just for us making life difficult for them, again in the back line and keeping them out and then building our way into the game. But yeah, nothing really stands out individually for them. It's just going to be a team performance where our entire team's going to have to be up for this because any one of their players could cause us issues.
How concerned are you about this being the middle part of the sandwich where you're playing 3 matches in 4 days? You play UFA. It was a grinder. It's 2-2. You've got this match at home Friday night with Chattanooga FC. Then you've got to turn around, hop on a bus, travel 4 hours. Say you're probably going to stop at some point, maybe at Mont Eagle to kind of stretch your legs a little bit. 3 matches in 4 days. That's a tall order.
Yeah, it's a big ask, and I think when we're making the schedule, it's a little intimidating, but in an ideal scenario, I definitely would have planned it that way. It had to work that way just because of the availability of all the teams and the players, but that's why we take 44 in the roster, to be able to get us through this, so there's girls that have been getting lots of minutes throughout the season but maybe didn't play as much against UFA, so they'll have a much more important role to play tonight. And then going into the game tomorrow, there's some girls that maybe haven't even made a game day squad yet that they can be frustrated about because they're good players. But that'll be a big opportunity for them to come out. So we're looking to still have fresh legs throughout all the games. So I'm not too overly concerned. I think it's in the right order as well. Of having UFA as the first game, going into Chattanooga and then into Nashville. I think the order's been good for us.
So what is the schedule going forward? Once again, Coach Roddie mentions the home match against Chattanooga FC. That one's at Cherokee High School at 6 o'clock on Friday night. Saturday night at 6 at Hardin Valley Academy. Nashville Rhythm travels down the road to take on 865 Alliance. FC Nashville Wolves at Davidson Academy are hosting Georgia Impact. UFA Gunners at Oglethorpe are hosting FC Birmingham. Sunday, Chattanooga FC turns back around, and they get Decatur FC at Finley. That was the second match in the conversation that we had with Coach Marchant. Then Week 8 starts Thursday, the 27th, at Tyler Beasley as 865 Alliance takes on FC Nashville Wolves. That is your quick rundown of everything going on in the Southeast, but let's take a peek at the Week 6 power rankings, the national power rankings. UFA Gunners right now are listed at number 8 in the power rankings. 865 Alliance is at 18. Nashville Rhythm is at 23. West Florida is at number 25. And don't forget, you can get all of the rankings across the board by going to WPSLsoccer.com and looking on the homepage, looking at the top 10 in the South. It is UFA at number 2, 865 Alliance at number 4, Nashville Rhythm number 5. Then you have Decatur FC in the Week 6 power rankings in the South, cracking the rankings at number 10. If you are in the market and you are in the area, please support the teams in the WPSL, whether it's Southeast or otherwise. WPSLsoccer.com gives you all the information about where you can go if you are outside the Southeast footprint. If you cannot be there in person, follow along on the social media platforms for all the clubs. And if you are out of area and still want to follow along, once again, follow on all of the social media platforms that are attached to your favorite clubs, and you can keep up to date on everything going on in the WPSL. And you can listen to us every single week as we break everything down in the WPSL Southeast, one of the toughest divisions around in the Southeast Conference. So, for everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Thanks for dropping by and being a part of our discussion with SDH and the WPSL Southeast. Mucha platiel, play it safe, enjoy the games, and stay hydrated. We'll catch back up with you again next week.